Hey everyone, welcome back and welcome if you're new. I'm so glad you're here to craft with me for fall. I'm going to be using the Cricut Joy Xtra today to bring together a compilation of crafts for you guys. I do want to mention that I did this last week for Halloween, so if you didn't catch it, I will link those videos down below in the description box for you. And also, if you want the Cricut Design Space part, a step-by-step tutorial on how I brought all these crafts together, I have that video for you as well. It will be on the home screen of my YouTube page if you want a more in-depth craft with me. But let's go ahead and get started. If you find this video helpful or inspiring, I would love it if you give this video a thumbs up. It helps the algorithm, it helps my channel, it helps other people find this video. All right guys, let's get started. All right guys, so for the first project, I am using this sign that I used last year for Halloween. I had black pumpkins on it and I left the vinyl on too long and it actually, you could see it. It like left an indentation. So I repainted it and I kind of started messing up. So I just need to put a design on it and leave it. And I am using that vinyl from the Halloween craft with me, but I'm using it in black, that textured metallic. I love this and it'll be a permanent fixture for decor. So now for the weeding process here, let's start in the top left corner. I was kind of thinking if I should weed out the centers of the letters first, but I did replace my blade on my Cricut machine and that has helped. I needed a new blade. So you all see how easy this is weeding? I thought it was going to be kind of finicky to work with, honestly, but it is not. And if it's still available on Amazon, I will link it down below. It was at the time of this recording, so be sure to check the description box and follow me on Instagram. I'll have all that stuff listed down below. But I'm going to go ahead and finish weeding this out real quick and then we'll bring in our sign again. The design is completely weeded out. I am bringing in my big old roll of transfer tape. Let's measure this out and get this cut down to size. I really like this transfer tape. It's a medium tack. I usually don't have any or too many issues with it. Every now and then, I wish I had a heavier tack, but the medium tack I feel like is good. It's a good universal transfer tape for majority of crafts. All right, so what I want to do now is just peel a little bit of this back. I usually get ahead of myself and just peel the whole thing back and make things more difficult for myself. So peeling a little bit back here just to have a little bit of stickiness to work with. And then once you get that tab laid down, just slowly peel back the rest. And now bringing in my scraper tool, and I'm going to burnish down on the front and the back just to make sure this textured vinyl really gets stuck down to that transfer tape. All right, bringing in our sign here and our design. Let's go ahead and peel it back. I'm going to place it down. I'm going to eyeball it. So I want to remove all of this so I'm able to see everything. You could lay it down like we placed the transfer tape down, just a little bit at a time. Personal preference, just do what makes you feel comfortable. And if anything starts peeling back, you can always, burnish it back down like that little area there. Or just kind of help it. Like so. You could also bring in parchment paper if you didn't want to commit to the full design. I think that this is pretty centered and even or straight. I'm going to bring in my scraper and burnish it down. This is a painted surface, so I didn't prep the surface with alcohol because it would have just made the paint come up. So I'm going to really add some pressure here to make sure this is getting stuck down to that paint. All right, so now let's pick up our transfer tape. I'm using my weeding tool there to pick up that corner. Let's hope it's all stuck down. And part of the transfer tape started to rip, so I'm going to use my weeding tool to carefully pick that up because I don't want to scratch the paint, because let's be honest, it's not a very good paint job. And this is our fall decor, and I love it because it's the black. I did the same thing last year with just like 3 pumpkins, like pumpkin outlines. I love it because it's a great deep tone for the fall season, and it fits in with Halloween as well. So once again, using that metallic textured vinyl. So I just selected go on my computer for the cutting process. I'm going to bring back in this brown that I used for my last Craft With Me, the Halloween one. I think this chocolate is going to look really nice on this brown, dark brown wood. And this is the bottom here. I almost brought in black, but we just used black. So I'm changing it up and we're going to use this brown design. I'm really excited. I think this is going to be really neat and different as well. And I think I'm just going to place a candle on top. I recently bought this candle from Walmart, and I like these candles because the label is an easy peel, so you can easily decorate it, and the wooden lid is a nice touch. But I think it would be really nice to have this on the countertop. So that's my plan, my idea. All right, guys, I've got the design here. I love this textured vinyl. I can't get enough of it. I actually got this really cheap from Walmart, because Walmart is, well, every craft store really, but Michael's is just selling all their Cricut stuff. It's marked down just to get rid of it. Look how easily that weeded. And there's no center pieces to weed, so all I need to do now is get my transfer tape, and we're gonna have to prep our surface this time with alcohol because it's wood. Placed on that backer there. I have a little excess that's going to stick on my countertop surface, but that's okay. And once again, I'm going to burnish on both sides here. And if you're still looking for inspiration for Halloween and you didn't catch my Halloween Craft With Me, I will link them down below for you in the description box. I also made a really cute shirt for Halloween with printable iron-on from Cricut. I freaking love it so much. I've worn it so many times already. Let's go ahead and clean our surface. I've got some rubbing alcohol on here, and I'm just going to use my paper towel just to get any dirt or debris off that would interfere with the vinyl sticking down, and just going over the area that I need to place the vinyl on. Okay, and I store my alcohol in this pump bottle. I love using a pump instead of a spray because the spray gets everywhere. Granted, alcohol dries really quickly. But yeah, I just prefer the spray. And now I'm thinking I put that on the wrong side because it's kind of angled like that, isn't it? Once again, let's peel back the backer. A couple little areas, those little dots needed some help. And this bottom portion, okay. And let's kind of nestle it like so. And I'm really going to add some pressure here because it does not look like it wants to stick down at all. Not at all. If it doesn't stick down, I'll just cut it out in a different vinyl. Maybe that area wasn't clean enough. I'm not sure. But I'm just going to put some pressure on here just to help this try to make it. And I guess if I lose one, it doesn't really matter. I think it would still be okay if I lost a part of the design. All right, let me go ahead and zoom in for y'all so y'all can see this a bit better. And I'm going to start from the side here because this mushroom didn't want to stick down. So I am wanting to avoid that little area. But look at there. Okay. Some areas are wanting to lift up, but it's sticking down. Let's help this bottom portion here. Would you look at that? So now this has a lot of debris on it, so this is trash. But if it was a clean surface, you could reuse that transfer tape. I'm just going to bring in my scraper and very carefully add a little more pressure. And being very careful because I don't want to accidentally have anything lift up. Because then I could possibly, you know, mess it up, tear it. Alright guys, I love it. How nice is this riser? You see all the texture there. It is so subtle, but when the light hits it, my goodness, it is completely transformed. Let me zoom back out. And this is the full view of the riser. It's gonna look so nice in the kitchen. All right, so I have to tell you, I am so excited about this one. One, because of the vinyl, and two, I'm getting something out of my craft space because it takes up storage. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that I live tiny, so I can't really afford to have things sitting in my space for too long. And that this flag that we are making, or wall banner, I've had it in my space for way too long. So what I'm doing with this iron-on or HTV is just peeling back all of the excess and just working slow. This cuts and weeds really, really well. All right, we're reaching the finish line with all this excess vinyl, and then that will just leave the centers. And I don't think I lost any of the dots to the eyes. It doesn't look like I did, so that is awesome. That's one main reason I love working with HTV and fonts. It just makes it so much easier. So for these little pieces here, I'm gonna bring in my ringleader, and I am just gonna poke those little excess pieces. So let me go ahead and zoom in a bit more for you guys so y'all can see this a bit better while I work on these little center pieces. This is the relaxing part of weeding. Once you remove all the remaining pieces and you know that this is just going to be smooth sailing from here on out, it's relaxing. After this craft, I am going to make a really cute door wreath. I made it last year for spring, so this year it's going to be very similar but more of a fall themed, and I'm so excited to see how it turns out. I love the floral that I found from Hobby Lobby. So this is a craft with me video, but if there are any specific tutorials for you guys that y'all want me to work on, definitely let me know in the description box. It helps me get ideas, and you know, it's just helpful for me to know what y'all kind of want to see. So if there is specific tutorials that you want, or even content in general, I guess, let me know in the description box so I can work on that as we move forward into the holiday season. Because I can, if it's tutorials, I can make the tutorials like season themed. So if it's like bookmarks for, with your Cricut machine, I could make fall inspired bookmarks, or maybe even Christmas once we get closer into that time. But just let me know in the comments, guys. All right, we are almost done. I'm going to be using my mini press just because it's out already. I'm turning it to medium heat, which is 2 wavy lines. That's going to heat up, and let me bring in my heat press mat and my flag here. What is it called again? I keep forgetting. Polyester wall banner. Okay, so I'll have this one be the front side. So while the heat press is heating up, I'm bringing in my lint roller here to prep the surface per Cricut heat guide. So that is prepped for us. It is recommended to add a little heat prior to pressing, but I'm just going to go ahead and start to position this, and we'll just go straight in for the iron-on process because I'm going to have to work over all these little areas. So I'm just going to do it in one fell swoop. It will be fine. This is going to be indoors. It's not going to have any issues adhering. So our mini press just chimed. It's ready for us. I'm going to come in with firm pressure for about 20 to 25 seconds over each area. I guess each word. It seems to be adhering really, really well. And quickly, there is a piece of vinyl, a scrap piece that I don't want to get ironed down. So let me bring in my tweezers real quick. Just that little bitty piece, it would have ironed down. Okay, so once again, coming back in, firm pressure. What do you guys think of this vinyl? Do y'all remember it from last year for Christmas? What did I use that on? Oh, a wooden sign, a painted wooden sign from Hobby Lobby. It ironed on the wood really, really well. So I'm going to go over this one more time, all of it, and then I will let this cool down before I remove it. start to remove the carrier sheet, I just noticed a little piece I did not weed. It's okay. It's okay. So I'm just going to remove this flag from the heat press mat because this holds in heat. It makes it take a little longer to cool down. Okay, it is pretty cool down, not completely cool. It's a little bit warm, but for the most part, it seems to be cooled down everywhere. And this carrier sheet's coming up really easily. Uh-oh, that little S is not ironed down. But one nice thing about the mini press is I can come in and really focus on that small area. I love, 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 love the mini press. I also have one from HTV Ront, and they're literally the same. I love these little things. They come in handy for these small little projects and even the larger ones. And you're really able to come in with that firm pressure that the iron-on material needs to really bond to these fibers. Let's just go over this dainty text at the bottom a little longer. Okay, that carrier sheet's starting to lift up. That is our sign that everything is 100% ready for us to stop. And that is the sign. I love it. It's almost kind of brown in this lighting. Now that it's ironed on to this canvas material, you can definitely see that it is a burgundy color, but it can also kind of look like a deep chocolate brown. But how nice is that? The mixture of fonts. I loved the script fonts. And my goodness, I love me some apple cider, the leaves, sweater weather, cozy blankets, pumpkin spice. All of my favorite things. All I need is the mountains and I would be one happy camper. So the beautiful thing about recording is that it's the next day and we're going to work on craft number 4. So you see my coffee in the background. I've got my iced coffee with my sweet cream and caramel. I even have a donut. I'm so excited about these. I'll tell you why in a moment. We need to start working on this really pretty door wreath that we are going to make. I love this burnt orange glitter iron-on. This was from a variety pack I bought 2 years ago, and I use it so much during the holiday crafting. I don't know what that accent was. So we've got to start weeding this out. And it appears that my blade kind of went through the carrier sheet over here. It had too much pressure. So I'm gonna have to be careful when I'm over on that little section because I don't want the carrier sheet to lift up and separate from the glitter and all of that. But these donuts here, oh my goodness. Okay, so I am originally from East Texas, but I travel, you know, full time with my husband. We live in a fifth wheel toy hauler. The toy hauler is my craft space. And we have been going to Iowa for the past like 2 years now. And well, I say that we were there just a couple of months ago and we were there 2 years ago at the same time. And I came across these donuts at the Walmart there in Iowa, Keokuk, Iowa. And I love them. They have the pumpkin spice, and then this is apple cider, and then they also have donut holes. If you know what I'm talking about, let me know in the comments. They are so good, but they don't sell them everywhere. Like in Tyler, where I'm from, no go. But now I'm in, where am I? Port Arthur, which is like outside of Beaumont, of Texas. And they had them here. And I was like, yes! Like I definitely don't need to eat donuts every day for the next week until the box is gone. But my goodness, I love them so, so much. So much. And I'll just have to make sure to be on my feet a little more active with those extra calories I'm putting into my body. All right, this is the design. Welcome Autumn. I love the little elements, and look at this beautiful accent, this swoop on that M. Okay guys, let me clean this up and then we will start building our wreath, which once again I have made before, but for springtime. And I will list that video in the description box down below if I can remember. But it's a spring door hanger. It is on my channel. But this one is a little bit bigger than our last one that we made. Because the last one was for my entry door to my craft space. It's a smaller door. So I had a smaller ring. But this is a 10-inch ring. And I actually got this from Walmart. So I've got this material here from Dollar Tree. All right, let me think on how I did this here. I think we need to basically make a pocket. So we need to know kind of how much of this we want exposed for the pocket, because we are going to bring in some of these floral pieces. So we want to make sure that the pocket's big enough to hold them, and then also big enough for, you know, the design to fit on. So I had to look at the one that I made for spring last year. It's got the entire backing and the pocket. So what I've got is one full square sheet, and then I've got another piece for the pocket. And what I want to do is just lay them out as the best that I can, obviously, because it's kind of difficult to work with because it's all kinky. And that's kind of like an uneven side, so I'm going to turn it over to the nicer side, because that's going to be the top of our pocket that will be visible. So bringing in our hoop here, we've got the one with the mechanism, and then let's turn it over and bring in our other hoop. Okay, so all of this will be trimmed down and then glued along the inside there just to secure it. I'm just trying to pull this so it's taut. Uh-oh, careful with that burlap. Okay, turn it back over and righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Make sure that it is tight, tight, tight. Hurts my little fingers. Okay. And the pocket's kind of high. We might have to bring that down a bit, but let's bring in our design here. So we can bring that pocket down a little more. I thought it was more centered, but it wasn't. So let me do that real quick. I've got my hot glue gun heating up for us. I'm trying to tighten this still. I think I was loosening it up. Now, if you recreate this, just be patient with yourself if you're using burlap, because the burlap is really slippery on this bamboo ring. You can also use fabric, patterned fabric, plain fabric, whatever you want. I just like the burlap look. And there's obviously different colors of burlap as well, especially right now during the holiday season. So what I want to do is bring in my scissors. I don't want to use those. Let's use these. And I'm going to trim this down, but leaving enough so I can still fold it in and glue it on the inside. We've got some strings here. I'm going to just trim those so they can kind of stop being pulled. Okay, and the desk is a mess with all of this stuff. That's the only thing I don't really like about the burlap. It just feels like it's very dusty in here now. Okay. Bringing in the hot glue gun and just working in sections, and be careful because it's burlap. The hot glue is just going to go straight to the burlap and onto your fingers, so just be careful and mindful of that. So the last bit here, I love these wreaths. So I found this idea from Wayfair on Pinterest last year. I was just looking, I always look on Pinterest for inspiration. I don't watch creators on YouTube. I listen to podcasts. And that's something that I've been doing for probably a year now. Maybe probably a year and a half, actually. Now that I'm creating more, it's like I want to listen to other things and watch other things, because I'm now doing this myself. When I wasn't creating as much, I watched it a lot. But now that I'm creating on a regular basis in shorts now, if y'all haven't noticed, I've been really pumping out the shorts on like TikTok and YouTube. But anyways, back to my point, Pinterest. I get my ideas from Pinterest, and Wayfair was selling one with like some kind of purple flower, and they had a welcome across it, and they had it hanging from like a tree in the ad. And I was like, I can make that. And this is what I created, a little one for my craft room. And now we're making this one for fall. So thank you, Wayfair and Pinterest, for always holding it down and inspiring me. Okay. So you obviously can't prep the surface with a lint roller we're just gonna go straight in. And now I need to put something on the bottom of this real quick. Let me get a towel. So I'm just continuing to add some heat here. I think that that is enough heat. Okay, so let's go ahead and just turn this over and let this cool down and hope for the best. Let's hope that this adheres. I didn't have any problem with this white iron-on adhering to this. It's just a plain white. I couldn't tell you the brand, but this is obviously a different iron-on material. I probably added about 30 seconds of heat. This is where the carrier sheet is kind of cut into. So let's go from a different direction here. There we go. Oh my gosh, I love it. All right, so let's finish this up. It's starting to rain, so if you start to hear that, I'm sorry, guys. I'm on the coast, so there's lots of birds and lots of rain. I use these snippet tools to cut them down. They work really easy. Okay. Oh, and you know what? I had 2 different flowers in here. I forgot about that. I have these in there too, but the yellow matches with this season. So let's take these out so we can have a little more variety. So what I want to do is just continue to fill this up and just make sure to fill up the entire pocket. And you'll have some longer ones and some shorter ones. You want variety. The eye likes that. And then we'll add in the yellow to break up all of this orange. Let's put this long one back behind these ones here. That might be a little too long. Let's trim it down just a bit. So it's nice and full. Now let's start putting in, you could leave it like that. You don't have to add the yellow, but let's play with it and see. I feel like it does need another sprig in this little area here. It's not as full as the right side, so let's make this balanced. Okay. And then fill in with a complementary color. Okay, what do you guys think? I think it needs to be a little more full. Let's just use what we've got. Why not? Got a couple more pieces here. And of course, personal preference. And this is how you create a door wreath for fall. I love it. What do you guys think? So you can add some ribbon or jute twine to your hook, or you can just simply hook your canvas or your ring on the hook itself. I had a little chiffon ribbon with a bow that I was using to hang it on, but for this one I don't think that I want to do that. I think I want to hang this right directly on a hook. So this is the craft, guys. I love it. I'm proud of it. It's colorful and it makes me happy. So this is the lineup, guys. What do you think? Do you have a favorite? All of them I love, honestly. It's simple, but we used a variety of vinyl and textures, and I love the end result. Thank you guys so much for crafting along with me, and I'll see you in the next Carter Craft. Bye, everyone.